I inserted this slide just to sort of put Tallinn on the more on the sort of the bigger picture in terms of all the major capitals that Tallinn essentially is competing against. And one sort of very striking thing is that Helsinki is so close that it is almost like a brother and sister. Zooming in on the site is of course located between this Kulttuurikvartal and the Linnahall. These two sort of very different types of monuments. Our new building was or needed to be placed sort of within this new skyline of Tallinn, one which consists of sort of this more modern skyline, and then again this the old historic skyline. So sort of squeezed in between this old Soviet monument and this industrial icon, and then again the old Tallinn Town Hall in the background. So we've found ourselves with this sort of challenge of how to deal with all these different ingredients. First of all, we looked at the city plan in itself, the medieval center surrounded by this green belt, and one of the competition in the competition brief, it sort of lent the feeling of that there was an ambition of connecting the green belt to the sea line or the Gulf of Finland through or around the new town hall of Tallinn. Traditionally, town halls in all of Europe has this very classic square where people gather for celebrations or markets and so forth. And up north, even in Denmark, this square is mainly used in the summertime when the weather allows for it. But in wintertime, when the square is covered by snow and everybody's freezing, it's not really used as much. So our main concept was to make this sort of accessible town hall square, seeping under the building itself, that could be used all year round. We started out by looking at how to organize the town hall itself, and by laying out sort of the different departments next to each other, you would get sort of a very compact organization, but you would miss out on a lot of sort of daylight and flexibility. So instead, we went for a more sort of porous organization that came from this pattern of sort of arranging squares into a bigger pattern. So it became this porous organization of different departments that then, because of the different scales, would then sort of adjust the plan of the new town hall according to the needs of the different departments. And this became sort of an ongoing exercise in changing and looking at what the different sort of layouts and organizations of these different departments next to each other. And eventually we came very close to the one we called version 14 mirror. Essentially, our building then becomes this cluster of small individual buildings, like a small village that is hinged together in the corners, forming sort of a continuous space between the different departments. So that it allows for people to wander from all around on a certain floor and visit the neighbor department if needed. Also, the layout allows for each of the different departments to have like a very specific and framed view of the surrounding, especially the open views to the seafront, the views to the old town and the new town. In between the volumes, we have these courtyards that allow light to come through the building, shine into the different departments, and seep into this open ground floor plan, where you would imagine that the politicians and the workers in the town hall can meet the citizens on the ground floor. Here we took a lot of the program that was needed which was needed in the new town hall, and everything that could be placed on the ground floor, like the canteen or the restaurant, the big not council hall, the conference center, some meeting rooms, some facilities that when they were not in use could be used by the citizens itself. So we were really trying to sort of initiate this this idea of having a public ground floor for the citizens. So almost lifted above with the level of the Linnehall monument next to, the city hall would sort of lift up and create this ground floor with maximum accessibility throughout the building, but also at the same time creating these different squares or areas around the building itself. So here on the back side, you could imagine this bigger sort of park area that would then be sort of treated in different ways according to sort of a further detailed plan. But our sort of concept sketch was to sort of extend the squares all the way to the back and maybe introduce like a small cafe or ice cream shop, a little pond or whatever sort of this public process would lend to, or what the citizens of Tallinn felt that needed in this location. The volumes of the town hall was then sort of shifted up and down in order to sort of let light come through into these courtyards. So the light could go all the way down to the ground floor plan, but at the same time we would have this accessible staircase and an elevator that would allow tourists and citizens of Tallinn to go to all the way to the roof through one of these bigger atriums to the roof terrace where the old sort of skyline of Tallinn could be admired. At the moment we are very sort of in depth with analyzing the building as it is at the moment in order to optimize the offices and locations of people within the building itself. One of sort of the main features is that we have this what we call the drape down, which is this bit that closes down and almost catches the sunlight coming from the back. So even though your office is facing north, the sun would be caught in this sort of sun catcher, and you would get this diffuse light thrown back into your office. One of the sort of the main features of the building is also within the council hall that we're sitting in, the same room as today, is this big reflective mirror that sits on the ceiling, and it first of all it allows for people to walk up on the backside of the mirror, getting this view of the city. We call this sort of the democratic tower that allows for the people walking up also to look inside the council chamber. But at the same time, the politicians, when they are sort of having a hard time figuring out which direction to take, they can simply sort of lean back and look into the ceiling and think about or look at the city that they are trying to make a very important decision for. And And at the same time, the citizens of Tallinn are able to get an insight into the work of the politicians. So no more sleeping in meetings and so forth. Another sort of element that we have of the building is the Townhall Clock, which is located on one of the sides of the building. And this clock specifically is placed so that the politicians inside the council hall can look into the mirror and see the old town sort of framed within this clock on the wall. Also, we are asking ourselves what kind of sustainable technologies should be used to create this new Tallinn town hall. And we are sort of investigating all sort of possible solutions from wind power to solar energy to heat pumps and so forth. I think we're getting closer and closer to a solution that I will not reveal here, I think. The building itself, it might seem quite inefficient because of all this spending, but in fact it has quite a sort of a big depth to it, which is quite good. The facade is actually very minimum, and this is because of these big skylights that bring light down to the ground floor. So we can have a quite energy efficient building, even though it maybe not looks like it sort of on first glance. With this image, I will just finish my little presentation of where we are at the moment. Thanks.